Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life for Living Well. My name is Richard, and before I dive into the topic that I have for us this week, let's quickly remind you that you can find a lot more on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. And if you also want to follow some of our articles that we publish every week, regarding this, each of the podcast, you can also find it on Medium. And if you just type for Richard, or you will find some of those articles that are published there as well. Before we dive into the topic that we have for this week, let me quickly say if you'd like to sign up for our weekly article, I would be really happy to get your email. So if you go to our website again, it's www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You can just insert your email, and every time we push out the wonderful articles, you'll be one of those people on our reading list that will receive the article once we publish it out. So let's dive into the topic that I have for us this week without taking much of our time. It's one title, but you also have a subtitle in it in order to make it easier for us to understand it. And the title for this week is what I call Be Careful Who You Socialize With. It's another form of saying the power of association. Choose your company wisely. So you could see how this topic is spread out, but you will come to agreement with me by the time I round up this message. Because of our time, let's dive into it. As we normally do, we take one individual quote and we build our message around it. So for this particular message, I'm taking from Ziad K. Abdelnour, and he put it this way: Be careful who you trust. The devil was once an angel. And why did I put this together? When I begin to look at the impact of having a right associate in your life, the amount of things that you begin to see in your life, and the people that are known, observe, and their path have been diverted just because of the new company they were keeping. And it's so surreal that when you take a step back, these things are actually more common than we wanted to admit. So always remember that our days on earth are indeed numbered. And it takes awareness and inner knowledge to design how and with whom we spend them. Majority of people are not intentional, and there's a reason for that. And until we get to that stage of awareness and then we value our time, we value ourselves so much that we take privilege and opportunity that each day that we are alive, we are being opportuned. Whether we admit it or not, the people around us can shape the trajectory of our lives. You cannot be underestimated. The influence often begins in the mind, especially when we absorb the philosophies, not just our parent or our friend or our schoolmate. There's so many things out there. And until we actually look at it that way, we cannot say that we own our decision. We cannot say that the others' influence are not opportune in it. The lifestyles and the habit of others without realizing it. Being overly permissive is common when dealing with group pressure or when associating with people which seem to hold higher social status. And you have it, whether a friend of you that you just like the way he carry or she carry herself, and unknown to you, you're actually imitating their behavior without really being intentional about it. You become more shy, that become more impressionable about what others are doing. So how your social cycle shape your life, and this is the one that I want us to reflect on it. This message is not for everyone, but everyone can find one thing, whether to validate where they are or whether to use it as a light or reflection or what else they can do to improve themselves. So many of the root causes of financial, emotional, psychological, and mental struggles can be traced back to the company we keep. People often join groups or enter relationships that do not align with their values. And why is that? Actually, with my observation, is purely simply because they feel lonely or seek social approval. So let me share a true life story here in this article to put a little bit of flesh to the story. A young man entered a college and unknowingly start associating with a group known for criminal behavior. He admired their reputations, especially girls followed them. They had cars and they commanded fear. He frequently greeted them, hung around them, and drank with them. One day, the police raided the house where this boy stayed. Although he wasn't involved in their crimes, but being in the same photograph or finding his own photograph hanging out in their room were enough to get him arrested and charged alongside them. He became a victim of guilt by association. Why these examples extreme? It highlights a powerful truth. Your association can determine how far you go in life. So you can say that particular story is extremes. If the police do their due diligence, they will not go as far as charging him with court. But it does happen. You still find some people that after many years, it comes to the light that they have nothing to do with the crime they've been convicted for. So that takes me to the second part, another part in this message. What about the peer pressure? When you hear the peer pressure, we automatically assuming that it only happened to the teenager or toddler or infant or child. But you'll be mistaken how many adults are also for trap of peer pressure. So the influence of peers is not limited to young people. Adults often fall into the same trap of trying to impress others, even at the cost of their core values. As humans, we naturally want to be liked, but the desire for approval can push us into unhealthy choices. And what does that do for us? It drains or pushes us into a draining relationships. Another thing that you have to bear in mind is the influence of social media. Today, you don't even need to leave your home to feel the influence of others. Through your phone, social media has direct access to your mind. You may find yourself constantly comparing your life, your home, your car, lifestyle, even income or relationships to what appears on your screen. This comparison often leads to insecurity rather than confidence or gratitude. you suddenly realize that something is missing in your life just simply because of what you can see on the phone on your screen. So, what about when values don't align with the group of people that you're keeping or the person you are in relationship with? Is it your fear of loneliness or fear of lack of self-worth that wanted to define or improve your self-worth by just being in a relationship that is not in line with the values that you live your life with? It happens and you'll be surprised. So let me give you another real life experience of an individual that I want to share with you. A friend of mine once dated a woman with very exclusive taste. She traveled frequently, attended concerts, enjoyed luxury restaurants, and drank refined wines. She earned more than 3 times his income. But this friend of mine, he lived a simple life, cooking at home, reading, traveling modestly, and spending time with friends. During their 6-month relationship, she brought him into her world and he felt pressure to keep up. By the end, he was drained financially, mentally, and psychologically. It wasn't the woman's fault, he said. The stress came from his inability to set boundaries, communicate his limits, or acknowledge their incompatibilities. Though he ended up with credit card debt, he later admitted the relationship contributed to his personal growth. This is not necessarily the outcome for many people. Many people take years to go through the therapy to heal the trauma, the pain such a relationship can create for them. Not all the time you have someone that can look inward and can do a rework to heal themselves. Not all the time. And I hope if you are currently in one relationship that is not aligned with your values, the true question is, what is more important for you? What is your values? Begin that work with you. Eventually, you will evolve out of those relationship trap that you created for yourself. So let's bring it to the end as we run out of the time. Conclusion here: choose wisely, live wisely. What happens when we choose wisely and when we live wisely? Your associations hold incredible power. They can lift you higher or drain your energy, finances, and emotional stability. The key is to become intentional, choosing relationships, friendships, and even digital influences that align with your values, support your well-being, and encourage your growth. I hope this message helps someone. I will be so happy to hear from you. What do you think about this topic? Let me hear your story. Let's share with other community. It's going to help a lot. And if you have a question in any of these messages or podcasts that we release and you don't know who to share with, you can always reach out to me directly through the email at hello@lifeforlivingwell.com, or you can just put your email on our website at lifeforlivingwell.com, www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You can sign up to our weekly article, and this will also contribute a lot and help as well. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.